For fun tips and cool information, tune in to healingtalks.com. Since you've done this diet, have there been, how would you describe any changes in your spiritual life? How has it affected you besides physically gaining strength and endurance?
When I give talks now, there's very little about diet and very little about exercise and training. People relate to me as the running raw guy, but I'm not the running raw guy anymore. Yes, I still eat raw food. Yes, I still run. But the biggest changes for me and what has moved me the most are the other things that have happened. And without defining them, without, because you really can't, words don't do it justice, but I've had a huge transformation. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, however you want to look at it. There has been a huge transformation. And I find it, combining that with running and with the diet, I've had profound insight that would not have been available otherwise. Like when I am running on trails, I do my smoothie and then I go for a several-hour trail run. My intelligence, my openness, my awareness, my insight is fourfold. So like all of my lectures, everything that I speak about, I create while I'm running. Because if I were just to sit down and try to come up with something, it doesn't happen. But when I'm running, my brain never stops giving me insight. It's a constant stream of insight. So have there been profound changes? Yes. In fact, the way I look at it, the physical changes are only 10% of my transformation. The other 90% is somewhere else.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, and it's also being open and available to it. It's a very frightening thing. Because
Ego-threatening.
Absolutely ego-threatening. I constantly question myself, question my belief systems, question my thoughts, question my data. Like if I'm giving a talk about something, instead of just being confident and certain, I'll go through and is this still accurate? Is there new information? And I do the same thing with myself. Why am I doing this? What is my intention? Am I doing this for me? Am I doing this to look good? Am I doing this to impart knowledge to someone? Am I doing it to be generous? Or am I doing it to get something in return? So it's made me much more aware. And that's not an easy place to live.
No, it's not. But it's also a different kind of winning strategy. So it's a different Olympics. It's a different challenge.
How about you?
Me? It's a constant, it's been a constant. I mean, like I'm here at Woodstock Fruit Festival. I can't tell you how many new things I've learned here. So, when you put yourself out as an expert, but you're also humble to say, hey, I'm constantly learning things that I haven't understood. He sees that challenge, that's what like you were saying. And my health is probably, judged by the exercise level, is probably the best it's been in half a decade. But I'm still striving for greater mental health, for greater emotional health, for greater spiritual health. It's a non-stop process.
It's called life.
Yeah, it's called
life is a non-stop process until it stops.
Yeah, I've had this opportunity. And
so what's the future for you?
Well, I'm working on a PhD thesis. Yes, and the topic is moving from a death to a life-centered vision of nature. It's for environmental philosophy.
Wow!
And I just saw yesterday the film Earthlings, which
it's a tough film.
It's a tough film to watch, but it supports my thesis that we have a death-laden culture, and that we have to move to something that's more from a left brain dominant, which doesn't connect to our hearts, to a right brain dominant worldview, which does, and which is also a life-centered worldview that brings life out of nature rather than suppresses it. So it's a big topic. I come from it as a former math prodigy, seeing beyond the mathematical worldview. Yes.
Well, our culture spends so much time wondering if there's a life after death. I spend my time wondering if there's a life before death. Because when you look out into our culture, we have so much fear of life.
Yeah.
We're so much more afraid of life than death. So is there life before death? That's what I want to know.
Okay.
That's what this is about.
We're going to work on
We're working on life before death.
Before death.
Thanks for tuning into HealingTalks.com. Check us out again.